Hello and welcome to a Martindale-Hubbell Connected exclusive interview. My name's Patrick Wilkins. I'm the founder and editor of the European GC intelligence newsletter. Previously I was the founder and first editor of the European Lawyer Journal, which I think many people around the world will know. And I'm also the founder and will be the manager of the new Martindale-Hubbell Connected group called Legal Spend Management, where we shall spend the next year or two discussing all the issues concerning general counsel buying in legal advice from attorneys outside, and for attorneys in law firms to re-engineer their firms so that they can cope with fixed and other alternative fee methods. Today I'm sitting with Fred Krebs, who many people in the USA will know him as the president of the Association of Corporate Counsel. Fred joined the Association of Corporate Counsel in 1991. At that time there were 7,800 paying members. Today, nearly 20 years on, there are 25,000 paying members. So a great testament to Fred's experience at really developing the voice of the corporate counsel in the United States and throughout the world. I might also add that Fred is an adjunct professor at Georgetown University Law School, and he's a frequent speaker and author on issues facing in-house counsel. So Fred, my first question is the value challenge. You launched this in September at the Heinz Convention Center in Boston. And it's arguably one of the biggest initiatives that the Association of Corporate Counsel has ever undertaken. For those who are not familiar out there about it, can you tell us what you want it to do and how you want it to help in-house lawyers when they're buying legal advice?
Thank you, Patrick. It's a pleasure to be here. A clarification. The ACC Value Challenge was launched over 2 years ago, and it is a major initiative of ours that is aimed at reconnecting cost and value in the provision of legal services. What we launched at the Heinz Convention Center at our annual meeting in Boston is the ACC Value Index. That is an important component of the Value Challenge. The Value Challenge is all about networking, it's about resources, it's about collaboration between in-house and outside counsel with a focus on driving value and getting value back into the equation of legal services. Much of the focus is on the issue of the billable hour and many of the perverse incentives in the billable hour, or that the billable hour leads to. It also is aimed at discussions and focusing on the law firm business model and how law firms might restructure how they do business. Again, perhaps changing their billing methods, also focusing on things like the amount of leverage, associate turnover, those kinds of things. The ACC Value Index is a member service for ACC members, and what it focuses on are law firms, and it's roughly analogous to a satisfaction survey like a J.D. Power satisfaction survey, or a survey like TripAdvisor, or the reviews that you might see on Amazon, in that it allows our members to evaluate a firm online in a very quick manner, about 6 questions, and then those evaluations are compiled. We will share those evaluations, the compilation, with the firms, but we also make much more detail available to our members, and it allows them to do some due diligence about firms, see the wisdom of the crowd, and it also uses technology to enable our members to contact each other to find out about specific details or information in dealing with a firm. And so we're using technology to expedite or to enhance that conversation that our members frequently have, and that is about their outside law firms. I'm pleased to say that the value index, there are over 2,000 evaluations that have come in of over 600 firms, and many of them are on European firms. The bulk of them are on U.S. firms.
You've explained to us about the value challenge and the index, Fred, but, and there are many components to this. There are hundreds and hundreds of papers that can help general counsel and everything as they're trying to manage their budgets for outsourced legal advice. But I think it's fair to say that one of the big thrusts of it is that finally we're going to start seeing an erosion of the billable hour that started back in the 90s. We had a paper by the ABA in 2001. So what I think would be interesting for all of our viewers is to take them back to the days before we had the billable hour, and you tell us why this menace of the billable hour finally raised its head and came in.
Well, one of the, I'm happy to do that. One of the points I would note is your own publication, European GC, had a very good history and account of the background and the development of the use of the billable hour by Jim Wilbur from Altman Weil. And so I would encourage folks to take a look at your publication and see that. But and I guess the other point that is relevant from the European perspective is I believe the billable hour, it's fair to say, was an American creation, and it is something that migrated over here, and with all its perverse incentives, and it became increasingly common and available and in use here as well as in the States. Prior to the billable hour, I think many, if not all, but many arrangements were done, retainers were provided, or work was done by the firm, and they basically would assess the value to of the work that was done and submit the bill to the client. And many times the bill would be as simple as for services rendered from January 1 through December 31st of whatever the year was, or some segment thereof. It developed with, or what happened was it was decided, or a movement was afoot to get more detail about the bill in order to see, well, is this reasonable, and for accounting and for other reasons. And one of the easiest ways to measure is time. And so the system started. It caught on. It has the advantage of, at least at one level, being objective. It's measurable, and it moved into increasingly greater use. The disadvantage is that in the most base sense is simply that it provides perverse incentives. It does not reward efficiency. Indeed, it rewards inefficiency. And now what you see is the outgrowth of an industry almost all around it in terms of how one manages bills and how one audits bills and all the work that is done to check that. And it also leads to, I think, an erosion of trust in the relationship between the client and the law firm.